You made Manny sign an NDA.
I didn't make Manny do anything.
What choice did he have?
I got Manny out of prison today for good. And I got Exalta to clean up 3 Rock.
By agreeing to stay silent and asking him just to stay silent. So now Exalta can go on and do this in another town?
Well, I think for the most part, she's always kind of been his protector and his, she's always been Mama Bear, right? And while Bode and Vince have struggled in the past and gone through so much, I think part of it would just, I think storytelling wise, it felt interesting to be able to see a little bit different side of their relationship and what happens when these two people don't agree on something. A big part of it is that, and it certainly has a different look and feel to when Bode and Vince aren't seeing eye to eye. So it was certainly fun to explore these last few episodes. It's fun. It's different because, like I said, that hasn't really been our relationship in the show, and so we haven't really shared any of those scenes. It's like she always, Sharon has been quick to have Bode's back, like in one way or the other, or quick to make excuses for him, quick to protect him, from Vince or otherwise, and it was interesting. It was like different. You get used to playing certain dynamics and scenes that are structured a certain way or have a certain tone to them with actors, and then to do something that's completely different from what the norm is it's fun as an actor, but it's like, all right, you kind of have to find it and search for what that looks like. Man, Leonis are stubborn. I don't know. I think they're all stubborn. I don't know. From, everyone that we've met and come to know, I think we know that they're pig-headed for sure, like the whole lot. And so I think it's hard for any of them to see eye to eye if they're ever disagreeing on something. There's usually not a lot of meeting in the middle. I think the way that it unfolds is really fun, but I think it's safe to assume that most disagreements are only really realized when somebody ends up being the winner in the situation. No, it's more station and home drama than on calls. I think Vince is trying to maintain where his relationship is at with Bode, but also, happy wife, happy life, and so he's doing his best to be Switzerland as much as he possibly can in this battle that's going on. I think he's trying to just stay out of it and let it, and be the voice of reason a little bit. I think there will be more that goes on. I think that feels like it would be too easy. We will get more Bode and Manny scenes, which is a lot of fun. I certainly enjoy that dynamic and relationship, and I think it's something that the audience is invested in, and just because we've sort of lived in it since the beginning, and to see where these two guys are at in their journey, and both as friends and what they've gone through, but also what they've both overcome in the show so far. They have quite a few scenes coming up. I think these are two strong guys with, despite their flaws, with a lot of integrity, and I really obviously believe in second chances in people, and I think they believe in justice, and so I think we're gonna get to see them kind of coming together for a greater purpose. It puts a little strain on Vince and Jake's relationship, but more than anything, I think it's not about being upset with somebody. It's more one of those situations where people are a little hurt and disappointed. I think that everybody sort of knows, certainly once Bode was hired by CAL FIRE and showed up at 42, that Leones have run that station for decades. And so I think that, Jake isn't blind to that, whether he hears Vince say it or not. But I think at the same time, it really sort of is forcing Jake to, to take a step back and sort of look at his own life, and look at his own, aspirations and where he wants to be and what he wants to be doing. So I think it just puts more in question for Jake, I think, just as far as like, what his options are going forward. Yeah, I think I've loved that. I think the fans are eager to see more of Bode and Jake being the guys that, that hopefully they would have been by now, and that maybe they were before Bode left, especially after what they've gone through as friends and everything that happened after Bode left and why he left. So I certainly, Jordan and I both love getting to do that stuff, and we want to do more of it because it's fun.
I have to admit, I was kind of thinking that like Bode and Jake could be the Vince and Sharon in the future with the two different jobs, and then it's like, would either of them want Sharon's position though?
Well, yeah. Time out. Who's Vince and who's Sharon?
I mean, I feel like if you ask the Leones, Bode's going to be Vince.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, look. The reality is like there are multiple, chief positions at stations, and there's multiple captain's positions at stations. I mean, you can't work 24 hours, 7 days a week. So yeah, I mean, I think, obviously that requires other people to be willing to give up those jobs or step away from them. But yeah, I think a future where they're, leading and using their own personal strengths to lead the station would be interesting.
It also depends if either of them are willing to give up, be less in the action, because Vince is more in it than Sharon is. For sure.
I think I don't think either one of them are eager to step away from the action.
No, when Jake brought up being an inspector, and it was just like, that's not Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. I think getting to do sort of a different, there's a different set piece, different action sequence and stunt sequence. This big giant shipping container out there, and pulling him out of that hole wasn't easy, but we had a lot of fun doing it. We've gotten really efficient at how we shoot and accomplish those sequences, and just our camera angles and the way we do so much stuff handheld. It was fun. It was like, I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I think it gives our line producer certainly some anxiety, but I'm always like, just like, all right, let's go. Throw me in. Here we go. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we have to have a huge arc for those two in the series, and just maintain that sort of conflict of having a father who is like the epitome of everything that she's not, right? And and what he represents versus what she represents, and why she became a sheriff, you know, and the childhood that she had, right? Like, she had a dad who was doing things that were illegal and was exposed to things that, like, you know, was frankly tragic for her. And what did she do? She went and did the complete opposite when she was old enough to do it. And so I think it just creates like a really unique and fun dynamic because they love each other. It's not a little, it's quite complex. And what they both do only adds to that. I don't know. I mean, certainly has some strange quirks. Yeah, I mean, I think buying somebody a phone when you haven't been with them that long, I don't know if it's like they've been together. I don't know what their relationship status would be at this point, but yeah, it feels a little bizarre. Like, oh, but you know, he beats to his own drum, and you know, and he's like obviously like his great intentions, and he's just he's unique, right? Like, he's different from the other guys that we've seen Gabriella with.